Hello and welcome to Top Story, which we bring you today from Russia, where the people of this vast country, 3 times the size of the United States, are voting in presidential elections on Sunday. There's little doubt about the outcome. Dimitry Medvedev, First Deputy Prime Minister and head of Gazprom, Russia's enormous energy monopoly, is Vladimir Putin's designated successor. All realistic competitors have been squeezed out of the race, leaving just 3 rival contenders to keep up at least the form of a contest. But what will the future hold for Russia without the steady hand of Vladimir Putin at the helm? Well, joining me now to address that and other issues is Leonid Syudov, who's an analyst at the Levada polling center here in Moscow. Thank you very much for being on Top Story. Everyone is saying that this is more of a coronation than an election. Is that fair?
Yes, it's the right idea. There will no real competition and real rivals in those elections, in real choice. And the majority of our public think like that. They say, when we ask them in our polls, that they don't see any real competition. And this doesn't mean that the people will not come to the elections, because our results show that about 60% of our eligible population, eligible to vote, will come to the ballots.
So why is that? If they don't think it's a contest, if they think it's a foregone conclusion, why are they prepared?
There are different reasons for their participation. The main reasons being that they are loyal to Putin, and they will show their loyalty coming to vote for the successor.
It certainly doesn't feel much like an election. Arriving in Moscow, there's not much of an atmosphere. There are very few electoral posters, none for the opposition, it would seem, just those of Mr. Putin and Mr. Medvedev together.
Yes, your impression is correct. There are no agitation about the coming elections. People will do it more or less automatically because, like I said, they think that Medvedev is the right successor for Putin, that we asked whether there are other people in Putin's surrounding which could be put forward, but they 47% say that Medvedev is the best in the surrounding, and only 18% would like to see some other person from Putin's surrounding. But from Putin's surrounding, because the people want stability and the continuation of the of Putin's course in politics.
Why is it, if you think that Mr. Medvedev, as the successor to Putin, would have won anyway, that the Putin administration has gone to such lengths to exclude from the competition people like Mr. Yavlinsky, Mr. Kasyanov, Kasparov?
It's difficult to explain this fear on behalf of Putin and his administration, because it's without doubt Medvedev would be the winner in any case, even if those people you named took part in the elections. The democratic or oppositional forces are not popular with the majority of our population now.
What about Russia without Vladimir Putin at the helm? It's hard to imagine for many people, I imagine now. Or will he be at the helm anyway, behind the scenes, as Prime Minister?
As far as my opinion is concerned, I think that he'll retain the position of the most influential political figure in our country till, I think, about 2015. And maybe he'll... at 2012, he'll be elected again.
As president again?
Yes, because our constitution allows such being elected after the gap which will be filled by Medvedev. One term of Medvedev, then Putin misses one term, and then he has the right to be elected again.
Judging by what you're saying, it seems to suggest that you think that Dimitry Medvedev, is just going to be a puppet of Vladimir Putin.
Will be what?
A puppet.
More or less. And our people also think that he will be controlled. 60% of our people say that he'll be controlled by Putin and his administration. And I also think that Putin will retain his power, his influence.
It's interesting what Mr. Medvedev has been saying, though, in the last week or two. And some of his ideas, although he keeps saying that he will be loyal to President Putin's policies of the past 8 years, sometimes he says things which make you think that maybe there could be a difference. He talks about the rule of law, for instance, human rights. Do you think there could be a difference?
I think that those pronunciations are more or less pre-electoral. He tries to attract the votes of more liberal part of population to add to Putin's resource, the resource of more liberal parts of our society. That's why he pronounces such things about freedom, and other liberal ideas, trying to put forward his image as a more liberal politician as Putin himself. He adds to Putin's votes his own votes as of more liberal and more soft politician than Putin is. And that's why he'll maybe gain 76% of votes, while Putin had 71% of votes at the previous elections.
Is there a danger, do you think, of a sort of dual power emerging in Russia between the Kremlin on the one hand and the parliament, together with what will be Prime Minister Putin on the other hand, as Medvedev over time perhaps will try to strengthen his position?
I think that this duality is dangerous because in Russia traditionally all such situations with dual power were ended with some kind of confrontation, some kind of fight between the rival powers. It started maybe even in the Tsar's time when Patriarch Nikon and Alexei the Tsar were struggling for power, and the power was dual. We remember also the experience of Yeltsin and Rudskoy and such other things when people couldn't divide the power and started fighting.
And that, I'm afraid, is all we have time for. Thanks to my guest, Leonid Syudov of the Levada Center here in Moscow. But stay with France24 over the weekend as we report live on Russia's presidential elections. Goodbye.
Story program dedicated to international news was brought to you by Le Monde.
Do I